Welcome to the threesome, y'all. This is the podcast where the three of us try to talk about at least three topics each week. And the three of us, of course, are our point person and optimistic realist, and her name is Star. And the center of our threesome, our voice of reason, he's the man we call Mr. Magic.
AKA Mr. Izzy in the friend zone. And look, if I pre-approve your girl's nudes before she sends them to you, we're an ecosystem. Let's work together.
Okay. And me, bringing up the rear as usual. I identify as pragmatic contrarian, and my name is Storm.
I like passion.
Over the past year, there have been several reasons why I've just had to tune out of social media for a little while, from ridiculous things going on in politics, and I'm just sick of seeing people's opinions, to basically Facebook turning into an obituary column during COVID, and it was just too depressing. And now we have the cancel culture run amok. They are getting rid of the 6 Dr. Seuss books.
I need to correct you for a second.
They chose to do that themselves. Can you cancel yourself?
Right. If you decide that some shit that you did wasn't cool and you pull it back, how are you being canceled?
They're just heading stuff off at the pass because they probably figured somewhere down the line it was coming. The books have been out for how long? And all of a sudden, during all this stuff where people are talking about getting rid of Miss Piggy and Nikki Parker and Pepe Le Pew, now you want to do these books.
What did Nikki do?
Right. I don't even know about that. But the books that they pulled back on, they were problematic.
Disney did it with Song of the South.
Yes. And nobody complained about that. Nobody said, oh, cancel culture. What's that movie that they don't show no more?
I'm gonna need you to narrow it down.
Birth of a Nation. Not the one that came out a couple years ago, which in itself people had problems with. But the original Birth of a Nation back in the day, with all the racist propaganda, people got rid of that one because it was not a good thing to be showing people. Do we call that cancel culture? Or is that responsible? Where's the line?
Some of it is responsible, but here's my issue. They're harping on stuff that is no longer that influential, such as Miss Piggy. How many young people know or are even influenced? Because a lot of that is supposed to be, well, it's just not good for the kids. What young person you know these days is being influenced by Miss Piggy and the Muppets, or Pepe Le Pew, or Nikki from the Parkers? Now, let me put a disclaimer out there. I had an issue with the Parkers when it was on.
Mm-hmm.
Other than it not being funny?
No, it wasn't really all that funny. But if those roles had been reversed, people would have been hollering sexual harassment.
If nothing else on this podcast, we have established that male harassment is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't harass you like that. So,
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I think that was a shot at me.
it is. But her and her
It's not a
overtures,
shot.
Okay.
you don't seem to repel from it in the way that Professor Ogilvy did. He clearly wanted really nothing to do with her, and she just kept coming. And that whole show was just problematic to me on so many different levels. It's not like it's a hot TV show right now. I don't understand. They're canceling what's my man name from Bugs Bunny? The other one?
There was a lot of wild shit happening on Looney Tunes.
There was a lot of wild stuff. I don't
A
disagree.
lot of stuff happening in the name of entertaining kids.
Tell them, Powder.
A lot of problematic things are also funny. Both things can be true. I like them more as an adult because I actually understand half the stuff.
All the elements.
Yes. And it's even funnier. But that doesn't mean that kids should be looking at it.
Why is it that now Pepe Le Pew and I can't think of the little mouse's name.
Speedy Gonzalez, who I always thought was problematic.
Really? Shout out to Slowpoke Rodriguez. He was the man.
I grew up on the border, so yeah.
But we still laugh at fucking South Park and Family Guy.
Yes.
Exactly. But South Park isn't supposed to be aimed at kids per se.
And neither is Family Guy. They're not for kids. It's
Yeah.
grown folks stuff. Looney Tunes is different because it is aimed to kids.
Why was there no outrage back then?
Because we wasn't raising a whole generation of pussies.
Exactly.
Not
Oh
just
my God.
that, but there were a lot of stuff that was problematic when we were kids that nobody thought was problematic because of the society we live in. But you know better, you do better, right? So
True.
when we were growing up, Aunt Jemima was all over our television.
Which I don't find a damn thing offensive about, but I'm weird.
There's some problematic stuff when you talk to the mammy culture.
Yeah, but then your thick ass grandma from the South looked just like that.
Mine didn't, but okay.
Well, yours is high yellow. Y'all thought y'all
Yeah.
wasn't black anyway, but the
Well.
rest of us,
No, mine knew they were black, trust me.
if your ass was any darker than a paper bag.
A lot of grandmas, nanas, big mamas looked very similar to her. It was never that offensive to me as well.
But are you the barometer for what should
No.
And that is what I'm saying. Just because I'm not offended by something doesn't mean I don't understand why it's offensive and how it needs to go.
I'm an artist. I'm very much against censorship in any form.
Right.
If we have to remove
Okay.
every fucking
Yes.
thing someone's offended by, we're not going to have anything.
Anything.
Listen, I agree with
And
you.
it's as simple as if you're offended by that shit, don't fucking look at it.
Don't participate in it. Don't buy the products.
Don't keep reposting it on the internet to make it more popular.
Exactly. Bring more attention to it.
That is a good thing to say, but the Washington football team, we'll take them for example.
I found that offensive. I'm not going to go to the fucking stadium and hold a rally.
Well, that name needed to be changed, right?
No, I appreciate that it did. It offended me personally, but how bad?
But my point is, if there was a team called the Detroit Jigaboos, you might feel a little bit differently.
I don't believe in censorship.
No,
To me, that's lying
I
to
don't
your
believe
fucking
in
self.
censorship either. But I also don't believe in telling a group of people who are offended by something that they shouldn't be offended and they should just suck it up and let it go.
Even in that sense, if you didn't like the fact that they were called the Redskins, don't buy shit the team puts out. Fuck that got to do with you.
It was deeper than that.
Redskins is an offensive term.
Very
in my
offensive.
personal opinion. Do I give a fuck if someone else wants to call their team that? No.
That is you, though.
It is freedom. One of the freedoms in this country is freedom of speech. If somebody's saying or doing some shit you don't like, suck it the fuck up.
It also doesn't affect you in that way.
I am partially Native American. Under the same token, if there was a team called the Nashville Niggas, would I support them? No, but hey, whoever
Okay.
thought that shit was cool,
Yeah.
good luck getting your money.
But you also wouldn't care if they decided that they were going to put some financial pressure on that team to change the name. Which is what they did with the Washington
Yeah, as soon
football
as the
team.
sponsors was like, we about to pull out, they was like, oh, this is offensive. We need to change.
Is that cancel culture?
I hate that fucking term too. Look up the word culture, people.
I do too.
A lot of things in this country do need to change. Redskins, it's disparaging to Native Americans. So I can see them having a problem with it as well as some other things, but you get rid of it as far as it being a team name. All right, that's fine. You know, they're no longer using that offensive term. But is that really going to help move Native Americans forward? The focus should be more on stuff that is going to directly affect people. Most of the energy goes to a lot of things that aren't going to
Help anybody.
help move things forward. You can't do both.
I agree with you, but why is that?
In the case of the Redskins, the Braves, the Seminoles, they all should have been paying a cut to Native American tribes,
Well, sure.
even after they changed that corny ass fucking name.
Exactly.
But are they going to do that? No, because the society has always been set up to exploit people who didn't have a voice. The reason why you have to do both is because the things like this are the things that get the energy. If you start talking about tribal land right, people aren't going to care. It's
Oh
not
shit. Y'all
flashy.
need more marketing on the internet, my peoples.
A lot of energy is given to what's easy
Hmm.
because
Yes.
Because short
Because a
attention
lot of you
span.
outraged motherfuckers don't even know what the fuck you talking about. You just following the latest trend.
I also agree with that.
exactly.
I also think that sometimes you leverage momentum where you have it. Because if you
Yeah,
don't, then you'll never affect any change.
true.
Yeah, I guess.
And before we get off this subject, fuck that announcer in Oklahoma. I don't even want to mention his name.
Yeah,
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 the man with the little diabetic,
yeah,
these are niggas thing. Cancel his ass, along with a few fucking cops that keep killing black people in the streets.
sure. Having him unemployed, how is that going to change anything? It's not.
You won't have
Nope,
him
but it'll make me feel
spewing
better.
his racist rhetoric.
It's not going to stop any announcer from feeling that way.
It might give some folks pause if they want their job.
I'm
I don't care
entirely
what you
cool
feel.
knowing people around me hate me because I'm black, but you better shut your fucking mouth.
Exactly. I don't care what you feel. You're entitled.
I don't know how much that's going to move the needle either. Fuck
If
him.
that
I
was
don't
your
care.
black ass daughter at that
Hey,
school that he was talking about, you would want his ass fired.
if I was there, I would have snatched him up. But that's just me, and don't be me because I'm violent in that way.
So you gonna smack him and send him back to work?
No, I'm not sitting here trying to say he should keep his job. I'm just saying this isn't going to move the needle forward any more than changing the Washington football team's mascot is for Native Americans.
Every step in the right direction is progression.
Just because something doesn't drastically change things doesn't mean it shouldn't be done.
All right,
Eh,
who's next?
That would be you, sir.
I will preface this by saying I throw a lot of subtle hints in these podcasts that may or may not get to the people that are hearing this. This one's probably personal. Let's discuss the friends with benefits situations. I have two questions. The
Mm-hmm.
first one being, if you know you really like someone, as in you want more from them, can you just be a friend with benefits?
No, I don't have friends with benefits. So I'm the wrong person to ask. If you're my friend, that's what you are.
So no fucking friends.
No, I don't do that.
But are you friends with people you have fucked?
Yes,
Shouldn't you have been friends beforehand?
not necessarily.
Ooh, you a freak.
Certainly, I want to get to know them, but if I have an attraction to you, then we're not doing this under the guise that we're friends.
Respect it.
I got friends. I don't need more friends. Mm-mm. If I have an attraction for you, and that's what I want to do, then that's what that
Hit him,
is.
girl. There's no hanging around like we cool. Ha ha ha, buddy.
No. If any of my male friends came to me and were like, let's do a little something, I'd be like, ugh, what is wrong with you? Like, They're my friends, which makes them like family. They're like my brothers. Ugh.
Honestly,
No.
I don't, because I'm a man, and
Oh.
in the words of Chris Rock, it's not that I don't have chicks that are in the friend zone, but all of them I was trying to fuck at some point and just got stuck.
Friends for benefits definitely should have some rules. If you're just getting into this situationship just for physical companionship, if anything changes, like if some feelings start getting caught, a conversation needs to be had because it's not fair to that other person if you're just sitting up harboring these emotions for them, because whether you realize it or not, the majority of people are going to start putting pressure in some way, shape, or form on that other person because they've begun to catch feelings for them. And that's not fair for that other person. Number two, it's just a heart wrenching situation to be in, to know that you can only have a person in part that you've,
Really care for. Yeah.
yeah, that you've caught feelings for. It's like, okay, I know they don't want anything more, but at least I can have this piece of them. And yeah, you do way more damage to yourself, even if you don't realize it. If you're going to be this whole friends of benefits thing too, and even though this does not happen, but I feel like all lies should go out the door. If you're seeing somebody or you get you a boo thing or whatever, say something. Don't do that just because, okay, the sex is great between us and you're not ready to let it go. All of the stuff that you would normally either not disclose or lie about when you get into a relationship at the beginning with someone else, if that's your friend, all of that should just be tossed.
That brings me back to the second part of the question. If you know someone really is more into you than you are into them, can you still do the friends with benefits thing knowing they want more?
No.
No, why would you do that? Because at that point, you know you're using them and playing with their emotions. Why would you do that?
And even though people do it with the mindset of that's their problem.
Right.
Yeah, even if you're honest about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you can do things doesn't mean you should.
And if that's really your friend,
why would you do that to them?
Even though they may be emotionally caught up to the point where they're just not able to let go of you right now, if you're not the one emotionally attached and you actually give a damn about that person, you should be the one to say, okay, listen, we need to stop.
I completely understand having relations and being unattached.
That's literally what it is.
But not with someone who's my friend. Maybe I'm being too literal about it.
So you're cool with acquaintances with benefits?
I'm cool with I call you when I need some benefits. Never with a friend.
Because who wants to make that friend happy?
No,
anyway.
because I value the friendship and there's no way that it's not going to go sideways.
Did it once, won't revisit that situation again. I messed up a relationship that I've had literally since childhood, trying to do that friends with benefits thing. And actually, I won't say that I messed it up. Their non-disclosure messed it up. That hurt me worse than a relationship breaking up. And it wasn't because I was just in love with him or I had feelings. This is a dude that I could never get emotionally involved with in that way. And so that's one of the reasons why I was like, oh, this is a safe situation. I hit a dry spell. Dude's interested in the physical hookup. And really, for as long as I've known him, I'm not going to say he's not capable of anything more. I'll just say he's not good at it. So I was like, okay, this is a perfect situation, right? And then only to find out later, you had something going on with you that if I had contracted it, and it wasn't AIDS, but it would severely alter my quality of life. And you knew that. Like, dude, we've been knowing each other for 30 years. Are you freaking kidding me?
That's just common respect between two people that are fucking.
Exactly. That messed us up. I have a couple of friends that I don't even want drinking out of glasses at my house.
Wow.
You know, this is what men need to understand, and women too. When someone is your friend and you start talking to them and you're telling them things, they know stuff about you.
And although this dude was no saint, he was just not somebody that I looked at in that
Well,
way.
hell, I'm no saint, but at the same time,
I am.
Okay.
Aw. Saint Magic.
Aw.
I didn't give you an aw. I gave you a.
Already triggered by this whole friend zone not getting any conversation, but I'm gonna let y'all rant so the person that needs to hear this doesn't think I said it.
I'm not ranting. I'm just saying that.
Not ranting per se, just expressing what you truly feel.
Yeah.
If the friendship develops into something else more substantial, that's one thing. But just
Okay.
because that happens sometimes, and that's a totally different thing.
I'm sure it happens to someone. It wouldn't happen to me.
That a friendship turned into something more substantial.
Yeah, no.
Clearly, she just fucks people before they become friends. Let her do
Right.
her thing.
Okay.
No. The people that I consider my friends, we talk to each other. We tell each other stuff.
And why the hell would you want that out of somebody you're fucking?
In a relationship, right? The freaking nerve.
But I'm saying they could sleep in my bed.
Don't ever do that shit.
What? Sleep in my bed?
As somebody you have no intentions of fucking sleeping in your bed with you.
There have been situations where they've had to sleep in my bed because they didn't have any place else to sleep.
You ain't got a couch,
Listen,
blow up mattress, futon,
She wanted them to be
like a little
comfortable.
pallet on the
Okay.
floor.
I also have a lot of very tall friends. Yeah, a couch is not someplace if you're 6'6" that you want to be laying on.
I'd rather do that than be spooning up against some ass I can't stick my dick near.
Ugh, there's no
Suck.
There's you sleep over there and I'm asleep over here. That's what that is.
You're splitting hairs.
Don't invite anybody into your
Right.
bed if you
In
do
other
not
words,
intend
he's
to
not
fuck
trying
them.
to be laying in the bed with nobody that he's not
Okay.
sleeping
Well,
with.
We ain't immediate family. Fuck that.
well,
So.
noted. Okay. On my part, that's not an issue.
No offense, because you know I love my male friends, but I can't see one of them turning into anything beneficial or substantial.
Other than friendship,
Yeah.
right.
Good thing I'm already drinking.
And not that they're not good guys.
We're not good for each other.
Some of my friends aren't good for a lot of women, but they are fun guys. And they're a blast to be around.
Man, fun and being good for a relationship is two different things.
Some of them I would never find myself in any kind of relationship, physical or otherwise.
Women really think y'all make sense. This is fascinating.
Love them.
Love them to death
Wouldn't trade them for the world.
at all.
I am not physically attracted to them in that way.
I can absolutely say the same thing. I do not have one male friend that I would even remotely look at in that way. And some of them are very attractive, but it's like
Right.
I've grown to love you as a person, but as far as you being a potential,
We've grown close in a way that I think of you almost as family.
yeah.
So the prospect of getting physical with you is
It's just
yeah, it's
revolting.
kind of gross.
So what about you, Magic?
As a person that's in way more friend zones than I care to be in, this conversation hurt.
Oh,
Hey, you got one more fucking. Honestly, the shit y'all talking don't make no fucking sense whatsoever. It's like, no, I really like this guy. He's really cool. Hell, he's even attractive, but nah, I can't fuck him. Why would I do that?
how does that not make sense?
Yeah, what doesn't make sense about that?
Because it's emotions over logic.
No, it's not emotions at all.
It's logic. It's the opposite.
It's the absolute opposite. Like, I
I
love
cannot fathom sitting around going, yo, this is my homegirl. Yo, she's really cool. I enjoy the time I spend with her. Damn, she cute, body's banging. But why would I fuck with her? Because of all those reasons.
you. You don't have anybody that you get so tight with that you feel like they're family.
Yes, but they're not.
So that's always in the back of your head
Yeah.
that you know that they're not. Okay. Got it.
Listen, I'm a man. I don't pretend to be anything less or more.
Okay, but see, with me, Family is a question of choice. I pick up family members. My friend Dell, that was on a few weeks back, her family is my family. I call her brothers my brother. I call her mom my mom. Her father, when he was alive, I called him dad. These are the things I do. Like, they are my family. So at no point would I look at one of her brothers and be like, oh yeah, I could get with that. Great people, good
Who's
guys,
trying to fuck great people? That's so stupid.
but they're family to me.
If you go to the courthouse and try to get a marriage license, nobody's gonna stop you because they're like family. Side note, fuck Woody Allen.
I understand that,
Right.
but at the same time, just because they're not related to me by blood doesn't make them less my family to me.
Okay. I understand the words that are coming out of y'all's mouths. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
I've been attracted to a friend's brother before. I'm not going to say that's not the case. But I will say this.
Yes, have I.
On a physical side, he is damn near the perfect specimen. He's
Thank
fine.
you.
Okay. However, even though I love him to death, he has personality quirks that are okay with me because I don't have to sleep with him, live with him.
Now you're making sense.
So there would be no way that I would even remotely enter anything romantic with him for the simple fact that it's a waste of freaking time because I know we won't make it.
I can follow that more so because I have homegirls that are cool and that are attractive, but there's personality quirks that they have that I can only deal with their ass in small doses.
Exactly.
Well, take my bestie, for example, and he may hear this, so.
You still have a chance, bruh. Stick in there.
No, I'm not going to tell y'all anything that I haven't told him. He has a track record with women that I just would never put myself in that position because
Yeah.
I know who he is. I wouldn't want to be his girlfriend or whoever he's
Yeah.
hooking up with or any of that because I see what those chicks go through. And just because he's my bestie doesn't mean he ain't wrong. And because I know that about him.
I'm not going to fool myself into thinking, oh, I'm going to be the one to change him.
Exactly. Oh, we were friends first and we have this foundation built on emotion. So he's going to go against his nature. No. Sorry, bestie.
Totally get it.
Off topic, do y'all have that person that back in the days you was like, if we ain't married by this age, it's me and you?
I did have that person. Speaking of friends with benefits, this was someone that I hooked up with before we got to be good friends. And then we got to be good friends after the fact, but we're not as good of friends anymore. I had that pact with him years ago, but he went and got married, so that made that null and void.
Shame on a nigga.
I made no judgments one way or the other.
Yep, don't have that person.
I'm sure I made that deal with somebody or maybe 3 people when I was younger, but I'm over it.
Yeah.
I do remember a friend of mine, we said it like in joking. Because we went through like a dry spell and it was just like, okay, look, if you don't find anybody and I don't find anybody.
Also, I wouldn't recommend going through with any of those pacts.
That's because why fuck friends?
It's settling.
Well, not just that, but that just rings of, well, you're what's left.
Settling.
The older you get, the shorter the options seem to be. We ain't getting no younger.
Just be by yourself and be done with it.
Y'all trying to be old and lonely?
I said
No.
by yourself. I didn't say anything about lonely.
And I'm not going to split
That
a
wasn't
hair.
the
I'm going to
question.
ask a question and say, no.
Yeah, me either.
Just because you're by yourself doesn't mean you're lonely.
I'm aware of that. That's
Okay.
why I didn't phrase the question like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I do not.
Okay.
Just don't want to be lonely.
I'm already old.
Lock somebody down.
So y'all can't leave me.
Oh, I'm out. First opportunity I get.
It's gonna be like the TV show star. She gonna leave us all behind.
Mm,
As
yeah.
soon as I hit that Mega Millions, I'm writing envelopes. I got a whole box of envelopes waiting on that opportunity that I'm not touching. And I'm disappearing and sending it off.
Mm.
It's gotta be a topic for one of these.
I wanted to talk about these gender roles in relationships, which, yes, we are still doing that in 2021, apparently, because I had a friend this week who was telling me that she likes this guy and she wants to go out with him and she's waiting on him to ask her
I thought you was gonna say her friend was threatening to cut her.
out. No. And I'm like, well, why won't you just ask him out? And she's like, because that is the man's job.
Blocking her blessings.
So I'm just trying to figure out, is this still what we're doing? Or,
Not I. I will tell a chick in a minute I do not take hints well. You basically gotta slap me in the face with some pussy before I figure out you like me. Shoot your motherfucking shot. We grown.
Star? Because
Yeah.
I know you're more conservative on this end.
And I am old fashioned, old school, whatever you want to call it. I'm not asking a dude out. Now, what I will do is I will flirt in a way that you should not have a question. Rather, I'm interested. And if you don't bite on that, then you're not interested enough. Therefore, that's cool. Go shoot my shot somewhere else.
You still doing that roundabout shit?
What's that?
The flirting and hoping that you
Yeah,
catch.
Wait, though, there's an art in flirting.
there
You
is.
cast your bait in the water and see what bites. And that to me is flirting.
Here's my problem though. Whenever I'm nice to someone, people are like, why are you flirting with him? And I'm like, I was just being nice.
Yeah, that's true too.
Often confused.
So I wouldn't expect anyone to understand when I'm flirting and when I'm not.
No, people know when I'm
Hell,
flirting.
other women can't tell because they swear up and down I'm flirting and I'm just being nice, especially up here.
I've had women mistake my niceness for being flirty, but I really don't care. Mind your business. The whole thing with men, this is just my frame of thought. If you go to take charge in that way with a lot of men and say, hey, how about we go out on a date or whatever it is that you say, then for the wrong guy, that sets you up for being taken advantage of. Not that it can't happen anyway, but then you'll run into that dude that's like, oh, she want me.
But you do.
Right.
I do, but then he'll begin to almost take that bitch role.
Well, I'm also very grown, so I can sniff that out in a heartbeat.
I don't even want to have to deal with finding that out. Any grown, mature adult man, if he sees a woman that he's interested in, is going to approach that woman.
I don't agree with that.
Unless he's shy.
Or just flat out has no game, antisocial.
I mean,
That's
But
not.
he's still, in some way, shape, or form, he's going to shoot his shot.
not all of them. And the only reason I know this is because
I'm proof.
I got friends who are very shy around women. The idea of shooting their shot in the way that you propose is just not something they're going to do.
Hell, I'm 45, and to this day, I still don't know how I've ever gotten any pussy.
Hold on. Name your ideal woman in a celebrity form.
Me?
Rosario Dawson.
Physically.
Me?
Okay. So, if Rosario Dawson were within a room at a party or something. And she's friendly, approachable, whatever, right? You're not going to approach this woman in any kind of way.
You really gonna test how corny I am? Me being the dork I am, I'm just going to find some way to be in her proximity, and
Okay.
Right.
I don't know what exactly I would do to draw attention. I probably would not go directly up and start talking.
And to your point, Rosario Dawson is an excellent example because she's dating Cory Booker.
Rosario done ran through some goofball ass dudes, and I stand a chance.
I like Cory Booker, but I don't think of him as someone who's going to approach her in that manner.
I don't know. Corey seemed like he got a bit of cockiness to him that's undeserved as fuck, but he got it.
I don't think he has cockiness in that way.
Plus, she was with Andre, what's his name, before that.
I think he has cockiness about other things, but I don't think he has cockiness that he would just walk up to Rosario Dawson and be like, let me holler at you. No, I don't see that
I
happening.
can see it.
You're not understanding me. It doesn't have to be that blunt. It could be you kick off a conversation with them and then it turned into something else. There's more ways to flirt or let someone know that you're interested other than, hey, I want you. Let's go.
I'm a good 90% confident that the driver in that relationship was Rosario Dawson. I'm 90% confident that she would have been the one to say I'm interested. But at my advanced age, I'm not with the games. I'm not waiting on you to come holler at me or whatever. No,
Strong black woman.
I don't have the patience for that. Is you is or is you ain't?
It's very Pepe Le Pew of you.
It is extremely Pepe Le Pew.
I like it because I'm the type of motherfucker that just tries to seduce women with my awkwardness. So, yeah, those that have the ability to go, what the fuck is you doing? Yeah, I'm in it.
Okay.
Back to the point. What's your go-to move, Star?
It just really depends on the guy. Like, if I see a guy that I want to flirt with or whatever.
She calls them all sweetie. We'll start with that.
No,
Yes, you do.
I call people sweetie because I forget names. I'm terrible at names. So everybody's sweetie, male or female.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't even matter. But I will spend a few minutes and try to scope out the guy a little bit. And depending on what I gather, I'll make up in my mind, am I going to be a little aggressive? Am I going to be passive, funny, direct? Or if I'm going to be on some slick stuff and spark up a conversation on something that's totally not related, just to get the ember smoldering.
Strategy.
Yeah.
Good.
In my younger years, I would have been all for that. Like, I'll throw a few hints around and cast my bait into the water and see what bites, but not anymore. Now, I'm fishing with a net. Here you go. Yeah. We'll throw you back in. Yeah.
And I
It
just
depends.
depend on dumb luck. Sometimes I slip and fall and land in a vagina. What can you do?
Like, oh, that's nice and warm.
Indeed. Damn, I gotta go back to fucking, but whatever. Summer's coming.
Your prostate will thank you.
Okay, fucking and nutting are two different things, which apparently nobody seems to understand.
No, that is absolutely true.
Man, I was getting ready to say, didn't you mention that earlier on? Like,
Yes.
that you don't always.
I very rarely do, and I get a lot of shit for it, but whatever. I could be whack. What the fuck they want?
But that kind of makes a woman feel like,
Yeah.
damn.
Inadequate?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I've heard this speech a few times. Too many.
And did you explain like the reason for that? Or
I like fucking more than I like coming. If I want
Got
to
it.
just come, I can get that off myself in less than 5 minutes. If I'm fucking, I'm there to please.
Mm.
okay. And that I ain't mad at.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I keep hearing stories about how most dudes are selfish and 1 out of 15 or 1 out of every 50, depending on who you ask, can fuck. Like, why do women even fuck if most dudes are this bad?
I'm not even gonna get into that today because
Yeah, mine as well.
if I'm just in it for just the sex, then yeah, it's going to be very disappointing.
What's going to be very disappointing that he's not?
Yeah, that he's inadequate, which is why I don't really do that anymore because they're mostly inadequate.
What's your ratio?
No, 1 in 50.
1 in 50 is good.
Yeah, maybe,
How many are tolerable?
maybe,
Or I?
maybe 4 or 5 of the 50, maybe.
Hmm.
Damn.
When you say tolerable, I assume you mean like worth putting down a good book for.
I mean, worth coming back for more.
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5.
So that's a 1 out of every 10 people.
Sure, if that. Here's the thing, though. If I like you for other reasons, then the chances that I'm going to be disappointed are less.
So, fellas, if you're a whack fuck, have a great personality.
Mm,
There you go. Because I'm saying, if your whole purpose in my life is physical pleasure and you can't get that done, then like I need you for, right?
Makes sense.
you make me feel not so bad about my limited experience because I'm sorry. One, outstanding, and then 4 to 5 mediocre out of 50 is horrible odds.
I'm saying now, in my 20s, the odds were a lot better.
Or were your standards lower?
No, the odds were better. Either that or I was just lucky as hell, which is also possible. But now the pickings are probably slimmer if I
Damn,
don't try.
that's terrible.
Sure.
I don't know, because JB said 1 out of 15.
Yeah, okay.
It's good. We didn't get into pretty good, okay, or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't done a complete study on it, but if I had to guess,
We were directly avoiding the body count question. In my head, I say 2 out of every 10 women are good. Maybe 4 or 5 tolerable. Probably 4.
Is there really that much bad sex out there? Like, oh, you guys are scaring me.
I'm an advocate of the whole sex is like pizza thing. Even when it's bad, it's pretty good. But let's call average
yeah,
average.
I'm not
Like,
an advocate of that at all. Because to me, when it's bad, it's a waste of time. Mostly.
true indeed.
So there are other things I could be doing with my time at this point in my life. My feelings on whether someone is good or bad is not the be all end all.
Clearly, you uppity.
Okay. That's what I'm being
There's nothing
called.
wrong with having standards. Personally, I like the challenge.
Okay. I'm maybe more difficult to please than maybe you are. I don't know that for a fact. So you might go out
I would
there,
bet on it.
you may go out there and find a bunch of dudes that you find to be adequate. Whereas I would rather watch TV.
I've had 1 or 2 dudes that have pretty much ruined it for average dudes. And I don't know that I'm more difficult than you, but I know that I'm difficult
Okay.
per se. Yeah.
That's a big statement you just made.
What?
Because logically speaking, most people are average in bed. You know, some are going to
Well,
be better, some
sure.
are going to be less. But once you've had a couple that are better, it makes average look like less.
Yes, it does.
And maybe that's my problem. I don't know for a fact what the issue is. I may have just impossible expectations. Yeah.
Shout out to my exes and the cornballs y'all fucking now.
Hmm.
Fool.
I don't even want to call names, and I've been wanting to this whole damn episode. All right, can we go to bed now?
I can go walk the dog.
Walking the dog.
Yep.
So we can live in a fat ass crib with thousands of kids. If you like the show, tell a friend, tell a foe, tell a hoe, tell everybody you know. And if you don't, fuck you. Eat shit and bark at the moon.
Wow.
It's the Threesome
Damn.
Podcast on Instagram and the Threesome Pod on Twitter.
And Facebook?
We'll be back next week for more of the goodness.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace, Izzle.